Hey everybody, hi, it's me, Kelly. Hope you all are having a great day so far. Today, I thought that I would, since I love to quilt, I'm gonna get my camera while I'm talking. Since I love to quilt and like to do wall hangings and whatnot, I thought this is kind of like a mixed media project, but it's on fabric, but we're gonna do a background today. And I'm going to just give you a few tips on what to do, and some products that I use and some products that you can use yourself also. And we'll do a background, and then or I'll show you and start how to do a background. And then my next video in this series, we'll do something on top of it, and we'll make it a cute little art quilt that you can hang on your wall. So first, this is just a piece of muslin. Now, you can buy muslin in white or this is a tan color. I use this a lot to quilt. I use this a lot. I dye it a lot. Of course, white is great. Let's try to bring this up a little bit. White is a great color to use. And also I have, which we'll experiment for, this might be 2 videos just for this part here, but I also have one of these very inexpensive, got it out of my fabric and yarn stash and it has little pieces of it. This is just a handkerchief that you buy at the craft store and it's white. So we're going to do a little, see how that works on there. And this was 99 cents. And I think they were having a sale like 2 for $1 or whatever they were, and I bought tons of different colors to do things because I like to use these in my quilts too, especially for like appliques and stuff. So we're gonna work on this and see how that is. Secondly, what I'm using are Liquitex inks, and these are the ones that come in the jars. I love these. I have millions of different colors. I actually want to go back and resupply myself with some because I need to go through them and see which ones I have and need more of because I love these. I love using these in my journal. I love using these for drippage. I love using these for so many different things. If you do not have these, do not despair. Because since this is going to be something that we're going to use as wall art, you don't have to worry about washing it. Although if we use this, or if you don't have any of these, get your regular acrylic paints out. It could be whatever brand you have, Folk Art, Ceramic Coat, whatever you have, and water them down. Go to your dollar store and buy the small cups, the little Dixie cups or whatever they have, and just put your paint in there with some water, like 3 to 1, maybe 3 to 2, and depending on how fluid, the paint is itself, and stir it up real good, and you can use that on here too, and if I have time, I will get to that on here. So let's see. I just put some of these colors. This is just the Liquitex liquid ink, and I'm using a purple, a green, a blue, a yellow, an orange, and a red. So as I always suggest to you guys, when you go out to get new products or new colors, and these I highly recommend because I love them, do your Roy G. Biv, your rainbow and black and white. You can get so many colors from them and mix so many colors from just those basics, because a lot of us don't have the money to go out and buy, all the colors that they have. Also, they have metallics, which if you don't have the money to do all that, buy yourself a small container of like an iridescent medium or something to that effect that Folk Art makes. When you go to the paint section, look at the Folk Art and Ceramic Coat and that kind of thing. You can buy Liquitex iridescent medium. It's expensive. Use your coupon, or you can just buy a small bottle of an iridescent medium. You put a drop in there, you mix it, it gets iridescent. But for now, this is kind of where we're at and what we're going to do. So I just have my plain, it's a like plain color muslin. Muslin. I use this for everything. I love this stuff. I use it as backing a lot, especially when I'm going to quilt. So let's just start something fun. Now I did spray a little bit of water on this to kind of get a flow going. once I put the paint down. I have nothing underneath of it but my craft mat, but you don't have to. You can see here it's dry a little bit. So let's go in. I always like to go, and I have a very cheap wood chip brush. I get these actually at the Home Depot or the Lowe's in the paint section. I think they're like 49 cents a piece, and I have tons of them. You can use a cheap paintbrush that you have, like a wider one, or you can use whatever you have. You can use a sponge brush. You can use whatever paintbrush you have, whatever. This is just, when I go, I pick these up like a couple each time I go, just so I have them. Plus I clean them out, and as you can see, there's colors in here because I use them so much, and they're, you know, they're nice just to have and not have to worry about ruining your other ones. But regardless, I've used my other ones too. It doesn't matter. So I'm just going to go into the yellow a little bit, and I'm not going to do this whole thing. I'm just going to kind of do where you can see for today, and just go in and paint, and just kind of paint take your yellow, whatever color you want to use, and we're just doing the middle here, and we're going to make a cool looking. And I only did a couple drops or a drop of the colors just so you can kind of see. And without even going in any water, I'm just going to go because the colors are going to, and I'm just dipping, and it's getting a little bit, now remember, you can use whatever colors you want. Now on this color, because it's a darker base, you might want to mix a little bit of white in it. I don't know. Let me look very quickly, and then I want to show you. I'll show you this in a second. La 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 la. If I was organized. I know I have it. Okay. Let me just show you. Okay. This is white. This is just called Titanic white. Titanium white. Titanic. Dyslexia, anybody? I don't know. But we'll just put a little bit in with the blue. Just a drop. Okay. So, you see where we're at now. And I'm going to go with my blue. I'm just going to mix it a little bit. I'm not going to change the color. And just kind of go in. And we're just making, if you want to go opposite ways because we're adding more. Now say you look at this and you're like, gee, that's kind of dark. Go in with your water. And you're going to see the difference. I'm going to show you the difference of this and then on white. Because, see, and then this spreads more. And you will get the mixture. Of colors. And we can go into purple. And just, you don't have to do a lot. You can just do, and you can see how bright that purple is. Because if I'm doing a background of something, and remember, we're going to be putting something in the middle, you want it to be, let me squirt this a little bit just to make it bleed. See how it bleeds? When you squirt it, it bleeds into the other colors. That's what you want. And I'm concentrating on this inside this. I'm going to put my paintbrush down because I can't spread with my other hand. We want them all to bleed into each other. Now, say before we go into our green or into our, which you can see where the blue and yellow are, we're getting some colors. But I'm just going to very lightly just pull these colors out, the darker color. Because if we do the whole cloth, it's great. Or we can do a piece. My thing is I'm going to concentrate on this being my middle of where I'm doing it at. And let's see if we can move over there. And then, you know, whatever goes on the ends are great little pieces just to add in. So over here, I'm going to kind of clean off my brush on the fabric. And I'm going to bring this blue. One thing about these brushes, sometimes the the bristles might come off once in a while. It's not that big a deal. But look how, when you wet it, and look at these great colors you're getting. And the fun thing is this. Let's go in for a little, we did our purple, let's do a little green. Now we can just kind of splatter. Look how cool that is. And you get that great look on there, and you just take it on your fabric and you wipe it and you get your green going down there. So you can do that. I'm going to move this out of the way. One of these days I will learn to clean my desk so I have more room. But we'll just take the rest of the green on there. But you see how cool the splatters look? And then I have a little bit of red. And we'll just go a little bit on top and kind of drag it in just so it gets some brightness. And you're kind of getting a tie-dyed look. Now for me, let's do this. I'll just run it through the sides here. Okay, I'm going to set that there for a second. Clean off my brush. I want a little bit more of that yellow. And I want the bright yellow, not the yellow orange. So I'm going to shake it one more time. I'm going to just put another little drop in my thing. And it's the yellow medium. And I'm just going to, I just put just a little drop right here. I'm going to put my brush in there. And I'm going to run it over where I want a little bit more of the yellow highlight, but it's not picking up the way I want it. So I'm going to rinse my brush off. And you want your brush to stay a little bit wet. I'll just rub it off on here. So what I might do, since it's not working as I want it to, just take a little drop. Because I want to keep the difference in the colors. Now look, you can just stay with that. How cool is that? But because my brush is wet, I'm just going to lightly, not hard, I'm not going to push it into the material. And I say, ooh, I really like that. Look. I have so many things I want to do with fabric to show you guys, but this is our first start. Okay. So here, and you can see where we got the green splatter, which looks great. And you can see on the fabric, I didn't push hard. Now, if I pushed hard, it would blend in more, you see? As like you kind of pounce it in, and it gives you more texture going up into it. Look how cool that looks. So if you want to do that, you can do that. It'll lighten your red a little bit, give you a little bit of orange. So that's our first piece. That is how simple it is. And you can do this with, like I said, acrylic paints watered down. And you just sit and, this is fun because you just sit and play. So look at that. So once this is dry, I will, right now I'm going to have to figure out where to set it. 1 second. Here we go. Turn this way. Okay, so that'll stay there and dry. Now, let me wipe this off real quick. And again, you see my mat, how great this is? You just kind of go like this. And it sucks up all the extra. and you're getting a great pattern already on a piece of paper towel. Save it for your next cleanup. And let's play with our white napkin, or whatever they're called, handkerchiefs. I don't know, they're called different things. And as you can see, this is kind of sheer. So if you want to, which I'm not going to do today, but you can, if you want to, is use this as a centerpiece in a quilt. If you have a plain color fabric that you love, you can always fold it in half, cut it, and then you can always sew this in half. And so you'll have, literally, it'll be like a block this size. And that can be your middle. I'm just going to go straight on in the middle here to see what happens and what we can get done. And see how this reacts with the white. Which I'm sure if you buy the white muslin, which they do have, or just plain cotton, just plain white cotton, I buy a lot of it, you will see. No, I'm not going to wet this one. I'm going to go straight in with purple. And let's see how this reacts. Now see, this might need wet. So let's see when we spray it. If it spreads, yep. So I'm just going to spray a little square here. So it's wet. And then go back in. I should have probably ironed this first. But it's kind of cool because you see the different textures. And like right here where the fold is, before I spread it out. And I'm going to go in and take the rest of the purple and just kind of go here, take some red, and go in. Definitely wet it before you do it. And I'm just mixing my colors here because that's what I have left. Because we want to see how it comes out. And then my delicious green. Now, imagine if you did, like, you wrap this up like in a really cool tie-dye thing with all kinds of rubber bands and twists and turns and all, and then painted it with these. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you this. So this works out really well too, and it's on white. I don't have, obviously, a lot of ink on there right now, but of the paint. But you see these, how they are in here? And there's a little bit left. So I'm going to give each a squirt just to get a little bit more of the color. It's going to be more of a watercolored look. But I'm just going to go in, kind of clean out my palette with my brush. Not worrying about it too much. I'm just going to keep taking the colors just to add. And then we're going to do a really, really quick experiment. Or I'll show you. Not even an experiment. It'll work, but okay. So that's the rest, basically the rest of my ink that I had left from my other thing with the muslin. So that's really cool, and you can really, if I would have put more colors in. One of the things I love are these Spectra airbrush colors. This color is opaque red, so I'm going to give it a squirt. Shake it really well. Open it up, and I'm just going to put a little bit in. I have a couple colors of these. I love these. And what I'm going to do is, I want to get a bright, yeah. Let's use hot pink, folk art hot pink. And I'll squirt it over here, just a little bit, because I just wanted to experiment to show you. And I got a little, you see how much I got in there? And I'm just going to give it a 1, 2, 3 squirt. I'm going to go in with my brush, mix it around. So we really get, and if you think it's too thick, add a little bit more water. You think it's too thin, add more paint. Now, I'm leaving it a little bit thicker because this is wet, but look, same thing. And you say, oh, that might have been a little thick, you know, I'll give it a squirt there. I'll squirt this because it probably wasn't wet on top. And look, it just spreads like butter. And you can take it down. brush it down a little bit because you're changing the way of the weave of the weave goes this way on here. So this is kind of going with it, so it'll go in and blend. And you see it doesn't change the color of the purple underneath, but you're getting this awesome color. Now I'm going to go into this airbrush color, and I'm not going to water that down because it's watery as it is. And I'm going to hit it here. And look, it's basically the same color. That's funny. And you just do that. And if you want a little bit more water on it, let's get another acrylic paint just to show you. Let's get a light color for it in here. Let's do a yellow. So I'm just going to use yellow light in folk art. Same thing. Just put a little dab in there. Oh, it's quite a dab. Little dab in there. I'm going to squirt it 3 times, maybe 4 because that's a lot. I'm going to rinse off my brush for a second. And just kind of dry it off there for a second. Mix it. Because remember, we're not washing these. If you want to, you can heat set it and wash, like kind of hand wash it or whatever. But, yeah, these are really just to hang on the walls. But look. Look how cute. Look how fun. I'm going to get the rest of that up there. And the more you go back and forth, obviously, the more it's going to go into the fabric. I'm going to kind of get the rest of these colors kind of mixed together. And right here needs something. Now, if it's not spreading enough down here where it's not wet, I can see on the ends. Might not be as wet as I wanted it. And I'm just going to scrub it a little bit just to kind of, unless you like that rough looking edges, which is all up to what you like. Now we're making our own fabric. Now I look at it and I say, you know what I really like? I like this, but I want a little bit more of that purple. So I'm going to just take it and I'm going to do a little, I'm going to squirt. This is a little. Iron your fabric before you do this, unless you don't mind the creases, which I really don't, but I'm going to take just the littlest drops of purple, and you could do this with your paint too. That just gives it a little bit of a, you can see it spreading, how cool. And when you spray it with water, just give it 2 sprays. And it spreads. And let's do a little bit more green. And you can do this again with your acrylic paint. This one I'm just going to kind of run across. Going to give it some squirting. And take my brush and kind of have it blend in. And I'll blend it out because, like I said, those ends are good. And it's going to blend into your other colors. So just think from here what you can do. What you could do with your paints. I don't have anything on hand right now to... You can do a little glitter green up here. We can just put a little bit of the little dots. And see how that works. Let's pull this down a little bit so you can see. It kind of looks mint green, but it's a glitter green. And I'm just going to spray my water on it. Get that saturated up there. You can see the water. Water's your friend. And just kind of, yeah, I like that. And that runs into the yellow. And you can even go over your If you have a little bit of that left on there, go over your green. Run it down. And if you have paints left, I don't have much left in here. I just got some, you know, I can just rinse out in the thing. But I'll just run it around the sides just so I don't waste anything because I hate wasting. And just kind of do like that. So, look how cool that looks. Now, if we took our heat gun, and let's just give it a real quick hit. But you see the colors, how they come up different on the whites than they do the beige, even though both are as beautiful. And that's acrylic paint in both liquid form and in your regular paint form. And you get this really awesome background. So what we would do is, and because it's wet, obviously it's sticking to my thing. But what we will do is we'll let this dry, and then we'll move on to something different. If you don't like the dots, you see how we have the spray them. Take your brush again and just go in and kind of blend them in the fabric. And look at the look you get. It's like running up into the colors and running down into the colors. So you don't have that, do you know what I mean? It kind of looks, and we can use this for so many different things. So that's it for today. These are just your basic acrylic paints. So you can do it the same, whether you have your liquid acrylics or your, your Liquitex inks or your regular paints, watered down. Look how fun that piece of fabric is going to be. And this is just one of those cheap, excuse me, handkerchiefs that you get, bandanas rather, that you get at the craft store. And we have this great, I know it's hard to see because of the light in here. We have this great piece of fabric that's going to dry. And then once they're dry, I'll come back with another video and show you what we're going to do next. So thank you very much. Please sub. If you're not sub, please share. I appreciate it. We just had a contest. We have a winner. And I'll be having a contest again. I'm almost at 400 people. So probably when I get 400, maybe 425, I will do another contest. And so please, I love giving away stuff to people who support me. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you guys try it and let me know. And I'll see you with the next video on what we're going to do next. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.